Hello everyone and welcome to Sangoma's webinar on why not everyone is ready for a cloud PBX. My name's Simon Horton and I'm the Senior Vice President for Sales for the International region, and I'm joined by Lauren Croxton, who's the Senior Sales Director for Europe. And what are we going to talk about today? So I'm going to run you through a Sangoma intro section and look at some of the market landscape, and I'm going to hand across to Lauren to look at what options you have for deploying, not just in cloud but elsewhere. Lauren will walk you through the choices that Sangoma offer you. How do I purchase? And then we'll come back to me for the summary. And very importantly, on the right-hand side, after the summary, we'll have time for Q&A. So please, if you have questions, type them into the GoToWebinar question panel, and we will address the ones that we can at the end. Those that we can't get to, we will come back to you on email. And this webinar is being recorded, so at the end we will we'll send you the recording and we'll send you the slideware as well. So I guess we're going to be here for about 30-40 minutes or so. I'm going to take a couple of minutes just to give you a recap, a refresher on who is Sangoma. And I guess this slide really summarizes our mission statement. We aim to simplify essential IT communications for small and medium-sized businesses, and that can cover the voice, video, data connectivity. And we're looking at providing a tailored solution with a single vendor approach. So you'll see in a few slides' time we have a pretty wide portfolio, right, which we can bring to bear to that SMB and give them a really powerful value solution. In terms of the size of company we're at now, that top left figure always surprises me, right? 2.7 million UC seats around the world. We've got about 100,000 customers. We have a distribution network which is about 120 strong. So we have distribution everywhere around the world, and I can see that we've got a lot of attendees from all around the world. It's great to have so many people listening in, and we can for sure service all of you guys through our local distribution and value add reseller partnerships. We're about a $250 million company. We're publicly traded. We're on NASDAQ and the Toronto Stock Exchange. So if you're really bored, you can go look at all of our data. I'm not going to bore you with any more numbers. I'm going to move on to what's our product suite look like? Well, I think what you'll hear from us today, time and time again, is really about choice. And so we offer cloud-based equipment. We offer service. You can buy it wholesale, bundled, a la carte, and it's really built on our own proprietary technologies, our own IP. And the all of the UCaaS, if we flip to the next slide, Lauren, all of the UCaaS is really built on the Asterisk platform. And the Asterisk is an open source switching engine, effectively. It does all the switching of the SIP messages, and then we can build really nice applications on top of it, like FreePBX, Switchvox, and PBExact. And when I hand over to Lauren, she's going to walk you through the kind of, this why we think Switchvox is a great solution for the SMB. And then around that, we have obviously our own IP endpoints, our P phones, our DECT phones, as well as a suite of collaboration and soft phone clients, all wrapped up, with video meetings, SIP trunking, etc. So what does? And we can deploy that in a range of options, right? This was also on the previous slide, where you can consume it on-premise, you can consume cloud, or a mix of the two. And although we offer choice, we'll never force you down a path that's wrong for you or your customer, right? We'll always offer you the choice to make the right decision, and the decision that fits the customer profile for the best. So what does the market landscape look like? It looks like we can't spell landscape there. We have a bit of a typo. So I think this slide is important, and you can see this slide is the purple part is on-premise, the green part is the on-premise support, and the blue part is cloud. And of course, I'm looking at the 2024 column, the year we're in right now. Of course, we'd expect the blue cloud part to be the biggest portion because that's where a lot of the market's going. But if you add up the green and the purple parts, that's about $10 billion, right? So $10 billion globally is a huge market for us to go and attack, right? And I just it's what, a third, the total market's about 35 billion. So about a third, a little under a third is premise. And I just am really passionate about not forgetting about that part of the market and making sure that we address it. So that's one thing, the size of the market. Now we're seeing vendors pulling out of the market or being acquired and merging, right? So Mitel and Unify merged together. And I think Mitel's trying to consolidate its place in that 10 billion market. Mitel doesn't really have for me at least, looking from the outside in, doesn't really have a very clear, defined cloud strategy. And then in the last couple of years, we've seen Panasonic and NEC withdraw completely from that premise market. Panasonic's an interesting one because at the end of this year, they are withdrawing their mobile support. So I think we're going to see a big chunk mobile client support. I think we're going to see a big chunk of Panasonic partners and end users looking for new solutions. So hopefully that will help all of us. And over the coming years, I'm expecting more vendors to pull out or vendors to consolidate, but not Sangoma. We're absolutely committed to this on-premise market and continuing to develop and continuing to support it. I guess we're seeing also a bit of a, maybe backlash is too strong a word, but during the pandemic, we saw a whole load of people moving from traditional PBXs into the UC hosted model, right? Because they had to support remote working. We saw a lot of share prices going crazy because of that remote working piece. But I think there's a lot now beginning to be a bit of an opinion of, did we make the right decision in going to full cloud? Because things like the control over the infrastructure, it's not in the company network. Maybe security policies are changing. Security and hackers having full control over that, being able to institute your own policies is becoming more and more important. And so we're seeing a little bit of a kind of a move back to cloud, move away from cloud back to premise. And on the next slide, why are we on premise? And there's a bunch of reasons, right? And some of them are kind of cultural, some of them are technological, but I'm going to walk through these. There's definitely a variance in penetration of cloud depending on the country you're in, right? And that could be a cultural fit because some cultures like to rent, other cultures like to buy. So there's definitely a kind of cultural view here. Then there's a legislative view. Like the Middle East don't allow VoIP, voice over IP, so that renders cloud rather difficult to sell. So that's very much an on-premise market. Then there are some verticals. If we look at kind of the verticals where they want to keep their data on premise or local to the establishment, like a doctor's practice, general practitioner. We see a lot of those guys saying, hey, can we have on-premise because we don't want our data going into the cloud where we can't control it anymore. Military installations, there's another one a bit like the doctors where they don't want to rely on connectivity, or certainly not public connectivity in the case of a crisis. They need their telephony in their bunker to work whatever happens, and arguably operate offline from the public network, and maybe they've got their own connectivity in the military that they can use. But for sure, we see military being very much a premise-based deployment method. And finally, I think the last vertical I would call out is anything where there's a large static workforce. So things like warehouses, factories, maybe even military barracks where the military are living. There's no remote working. There's not really a knowledge worker there. It's sort of dial tone. And in those cases where you've got a lot of phones that are dial tone and not that heavily used, paying a lot of money for a hosted system per month doesn't really make sense. So an on-site PBX suits those installation types very well, and we see a lot of traction in all of these markets. So I think that for me, the landscape is there's a big pot out there of 10 billion. Vendors are pulling out. We're seeing a bit of a kind of move away from cloud back towards premise, and there's a lot of reasons why premise makes sense. That's my kind of messaging to you. Now, Lauren, are you still out there, and can you take over with what options we have available for our customers?
I can, yes. Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm going to take you through kind of the options available given the information that we've just discussed, or Simon has presented to you guys. We want to kind of show you what the options are available. So let me go on to the next slide. Options available today, obviously a physical on-premise unit, a piece of tin, some dedicated hardware that is going to be sat on site within your network. You also have the option to take the software. So it could be that you already have a physical server to put the software on. You can run it in your own cloud, and you can run it on your own virtualized server. There is also as well still hosted cloud. Yes, we're talking about other options away from cloud, but in many cases that this is still very much a need and works for that customer. And then, as we mentioned very early on, the hybrid of above. Now, it could be that you have a large business that is spread across the region, and they've got, if we look at the use cases that Simon went through, you could have some unit where they're happy to do cloud because they've got remote workers, but there's going to be maybe a case where they have a warehouse, so they're going to have an on-premise unit, but you could link those systems to make it look like one big system. There is a real, it just depends on the need of the customer. And that's the most important thing. When we're looking at partnering and we're looking at, providing a service to our customers, whether that's us to you or you to your customer, it's making sure that the product is right for them, not what we've got available. And that's the approach we always take whenever we go out and talk to our customers. We always look at, me personally, I never actually talk about a set product. I don't go in and go, it's Switchvox or it's PBXat. I go in and I go through a discovery phase and I understand what the customer wants, what are the needs, what are the issues they're trying to solve. And then based on that information, I then walk them through the options available, whether that be Switchvox, PBXat, or any of our other products. And that's what we all have to do. And that's what makes our customers trust us and come back to us and remain with us. But for you as a partner, having the options available and being able to supply it on cloud, software, or on-premise or hybrid of the lot is amazing. That is, in my sense, that is unbeatable. That means you can reach every single part of that marketplace out there rather than just the one segment, which is cloud. As big as it is, fantastic. But let's not forget that 10 billion segment where also noted that it's that the amount of vendors supplying is getting less. So actually, that is a really great pot to go after and not forget about. So for us today, what I'm going to talk about within the Sangoma choice, if I kind of revert back to Simon's slide earlier, this is our never-ending portfolio at Sangoma. As we say, we do love choice. We like to be able to solve many solutions for our customers, and we do like to be that kind of one-stop shop vendor. But today, for the purpose, is going to be Switchvox that I'm going to talk about. Now, Switchvox for me is like the perfect small to medium business solution. And I'm going to tell you why, and I am really passionate about it. And this is not me, not loving any of the other products we have available, because I do. They've all got their place in the market and depending on the customer. But when we look at that small to medium market, Switchvox is perfect. Now, we have a sweet spot of like 5 to 50 users, but we can scale to enterprise size. So, it's got the scalability. You can do it for the small like customer of like your 1s, 2s, 3, 4, 5s, but you can also scale up for those large customers who need more. It's an affordable price. I'm going to take you through what's involved in Switchvox, but it's an affordable price, which for a small to medium business is so important, and even more so with where budgets are going. Budgets are not getting any bigger. If anything, they're getting smaller. And even though IT solutions is a big, big part of businesses, for the small businesses, it may not be the ultimate part. And they may be sitting there going, well, actually, you know, I only make phone calls or I only receive calls. So why do I need to spend so much? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and I'll take you through that as well. One of the other things with Switchvox, because of all the features that are inside this product, you can scale without moving. It is a really, really big change to, you know, spend all that money on a phone system and then your business does unbelievable. You grow, you hire more people, you expand, and then you have to buy a new system because the one you have is just not scalable. Well, the good thing about Switchvox, it is, and everything that's included scales with you, and you can use their features as and when you need them. You do not need to change. As we said, it can be deployed multiple ways, which is absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure I'll say it later in the slideware, but the best thing that I absolutely love when I talk about Switchvox, I always put myself in my partner's shoes and the customer's shoes. You do not need to do endless training on Switchvox. However you deploy it, the software stack is the same, which not only for you is fantastic because you know, you don't have to spend hours learning different things, but it's great for the customer because it just means the view remains the same all the time. And it has a built-in informal call center. Now, before I go on and talk further about Switchvox and the features, I just want to touch on the informal call center. Now, the reason being, I have this kind of debate all the time with customers and peers, and we all talk about this whole kind of informal call center. What is it? Now, when I know before we kind of all these definitions and trends were coming out, when someone said to me a call center, I was like, oh, so it's like a massive room full of people just taking endless calls and never coming off their headset. And do you know what? You're probably right. It is that to some extent. That is a call center. But when we talk about an informal call center, you are talking about pretty much every business out there today. Businesses have evolved from just dial tone of making phone calls. You know, people need voicemail. They might want to forward calls because they're on the road. There are so many reasons, and all of this is kind of where an informal call center comes in. So when I talk to customers, I go through this list for them to understand, is a informal call center, is that what they need? Because a lot of people don't know this. If they're not in the world of telephony, they don't know what an informal call center is. To them, it's just words. So I go through this kind of checklist and I'm like, do you take any inbound calls? Do you take calls from customers? Do you sometimes have more calls than people to answer them? Would you like to offer a queue callback? Would you like to play custom messages to your callers? Would you like to monitor how many callers are waiting? You know, that for me, that's like, great. I get to understand the trends of my business. When do I need more staff on? When do I not? Would you like to report on that call handling? You know, being able to manage staff, train staff, all of this stuff comes into that. Enable remote workers. It's a massive, massive thing nowadays. You know, that work-life balance, all of us do it today. We all spend that 1 or 2 days at home to work. It's, you know, it's invaluable, but you need the right technology and application to be able to enable that. And at the end of it, I always say, if you've answered yes to any of these, guess what? You need an informal call center. Now, one of the things about informal call centers, or even just mentioning the name call center, people sit there and go, oh my God, it's so expensive. And do you know what? You're right. It is expensive. It is not cheap. But this is where Switchvox comes in. Because everything is built in, all the features, so all of your, what I call your traditional PBX features are all built in. Perfect, tick. Those informal call center based features, built in. The unified communication part, so that's your presence, status, events, chat, your mobile for your remote workers, built in. It's simple to use, and it is. I'll be the first one to admit I am not the most technically savvy person within telephony. I'm not an engineer. So for me to be able to play around with this and configure users tells me that end users can as well and do simple things. But it has security built in, firewall. And the best thing about all of that is all of those points, all of those features are built in as standard for every user, which is why when we revert back to what I said earlier about if your business is scaling and you're getting more employees coming in, you don't have to move. It could be you start off with just dial tone and voicemail and maybe the odd call forward, but then it grows and you have maybe 5 staff come in because you're so busy and you need more people to take calls. Well, you can now add in queues. You can start monitoring those staff, start giving training, call recording. All of this stuff is built in as standard and it's at one cost. And that's why I say, when you think of call center, it is expensive. I think a lot of applications in today's world is anywhere between kind of 50 to $100. For small to medium business, that is a lot of money on top of all the other applications, telephony that they have in place. But to have a system where it's all built in for one cost, to me, just screams perfect for small to medium businesses. As we said earlier, it can be deployed in all the ways we said. So on-premise, software, a hybrid of the lot, and then obviously a cloud as well. Also within the system, which, I still get surprised today that people are surprised when I say this, but all of our mobile clients are included. So that's your Sangoma Talk, that's on your desk phone, Sangoma Phone, which is on your mobile, and Sangoma Meet, which is our video meet application. These are all built in as standard for every user. And then, as Simon said earlier, we have our own IP phones. So when we talk to our customers and they're looking at these UC solutions, they also want to be able to have a phone that is compatible, works perfectly. And when we kind of talk about that one-stop shop vendor, is being able to have a solution with one vendor who can come on the line if you have an issue, rather than going to one vendor for your phone, one vendor for your SIP, one vendor for your UC. You end up going round the houses to understand why you have audio issues. Well, if you had it all in one place from Sangoma with our UC solutions from top to tail, well, you only have to make one phone call. Again, for business, that is invaluable. That is saving time and saving money. So we have our P series range, and they are perfect with Switchvox, completely compatible. And again, we also, for the cloud services, we also enable those to be rented. So you can have a fully OpEx model if you wanted. So to kind of recap on Switchvox for the SMB market, I always have these kind of 4 key selling points to kind of really simplify everything that we've talked about. So number 1, for everyone, because price is everything, all built in for a single low cost per user. That is everything built in for one cost. Not this, oh, I need extra call recording, well, let me just add on something. Not, I need a mobile client, oh, well, let me just add £2. No, it's all one cost. You have that informal call center built in. Again, no extra cost. That enables your business to scale without the upheaval of moving. Same software stack. Again, invaluable for you as a partner learning the product, but also for your end customer. If they have that multi-site deployment, it's going to be the same wherever they go. And a plug and play solution. And I can honestly say this, guys, I was trained on PBXact 3PBX, which again, fantastic product. But anyone who knows it, it's a very technical product. And for an end user, not that easy. This solution is so easy to configure, so easy to manage and maintain, but also for the end customer, it's so intuitive. It really is. And if I can use it, then anyone can use it. So I'm sure you're all sitting there saying, where do I get this from? Well, so purchasing Switchvox. As I hope you all know by now, Sangoma is very channel focused. So our Switchvox products are available with all of our distribution and partners worldwide. So, contact your local provider, whether that's a reseller or a distributor, contact them. They will be able to give you pricing and also sell the product in your region. Now, Switchvox pricing is based on numbers of users. So the more users equals lower the price. And we've got here displayed kind of a range of user count. This could be new to a lot of you. Anyone who is online right now that knows Switchvox, this is going to be new for you. We've kind of had a little switch up on Switchvox in our pricing. But honestly, any questions, just contact us. Contact your partner, your distributor, or hey, contact Sangoma directly. We don't go around our channel. We always work with them. But if you have a question, reach out to me. I'll be happy to sit and go through it all. Appliances are sold separately, and our VM ready images are available for Hyper-V and VMware. And we also have ISO available for server deployments. So I'm going to summarize everything we've discussed today. Cloud is not the only choice. I get that technology is moving forward and we're moving into this new digital age. I get that. But as we know, there are still so many reasons why a customer is not choosing cloud or are moving away from cloud for various reasons. There is a 10 billion pocket there that we can all go after. Now, I don't know about you guys. I think that's a massive chunk of money that is not to be ignored at all. If you could go out as a partner and be able to offer every deployment possible, then you're hitting every part of the marketplace. And it's simple. It's not like you have endless training to do for different versions. Remember, this is the same software stack, so it is a simple sell. Sangoma has the choice. Like we said, we can deploy it any way we want. Those small to medium size businesses, they are actually going to grow the fastest. What we all need to remember, those big vendors out there, they are targeting those big enterprises. They are targeting those big deals. But actually, there is a massive, massive, massive amount of small to medium businesses out there who are not being serviced or are being serviced incorrectly. You can go and service them correctly with a product that is going to give them the choice that their business deserves. Now, as I said before, reach out to us. We are here to help. We are here to advise. We are here to, we can give you free demonstrations, evaluation units. If your customers aren't quite sure or you're not quite sure and you just want to, check the product out, contact us. We are here to help. And, we want to give you the tools to go out and sell Switchvox. Now, I always have we always have a kind of a promo at the end whenever we talk about any of our products and kind of the landscape of technology and telephony. This is our kind of gift to you. We're coming up to Christmas as well, so I love giving gifts. You can save 20% on our Switchvox software. You can see the code there. Write it down. It's available until the 19th of December. And, contact us for more details. Like I said, we are here to help. We want to get Switchvox out to businesses because I honestly, truly believe it is a perfect product for those small to medium businesses that are not being serviced at the moment. So write the code down, go and speak to your customers and come to us. One, you can save some money, maybe save some customers, get them converted, get them on the right product, and we can sell this together. But honestly, any questions on anything we've talked about today, just contact us. And that is me. I don't know if there's any questions, Simon, or I can't see. I've got the thing here actually.
Hey, hello. Yeah, good job, Lauren. Yeah, there's a few technical things. Does the Switchvox platform integrate with Teams?
Good question. Whoever came up with that, it does. It absolutely does. We have an integration, a Teams integration that is absolutely perfect on Switchvox should your customer need it. I mean, I do argue whether they need it, but hey, that's a personal debate that I have all the time. But yes, if your customers need Teams integration, absolutely we have it, and they can save a load of money by using that integration, because let's be honest, Teams minutes are not cheap, and they don't have, in my opinion, that full traditional PBX functionality that businesses really do need, and some people do realize that after the fact. But we have that integration, come and talk to us. We can showcase it, show you how it works. You still get, to be honest, your customer's not going to know the difference. It works exactly the same, except from they still have that traditional PBX part as well.
And can I add a little bit, Lauren?
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
Where Switchvox shines and maybe Teams is a little bit weaker is around that informal call center piece and the inbound calls, right? That flexibility we have to do what the heck we want and report on it on inbound calls for the informal call center. That really adds a lot of value to Teams. So I highly encourage everybody to go look at our Teams integration.
Absolutely.
The next question is a little bit longer. We have a customer that has to fear to move the PBX to the cloud because if they lost internet, they'd lose all their telephony inside the company. What can I say to my customer in that case to secure the cloud PBX? So I think they're asking for they want to move to cloud, but they're scared because of the loss of internet. And I think, Lauren, we have some. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and answer that. But yeah, we can provide some local resiliency with our Vega Gateway range.
Yeah.
So if the internet should go down or get disrupted, we can allow all of those local calls to continue. And if there is an available telephony connection, we can have calls go out to the network across that telephony connection. So we'd be very happy to walk you through how that looks.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that with the gateways. I know obviously technology is kind of moving and advancing on, but the gateways really are fantastic. And I love them because once you set them up, you don't need to touch them.
Yeah.
They just do their job, right? It's perfect. You don't even know they're there. And
now we've got a few more questions. Somebody, I think, having heard our answer about Teams, there's not somebody else has asked. I would also like to know if the Switchvox can do Microsoft Direct Routing, and does it require audio codes as part of the integration?
It
you want me to
does.
I can answer that one, Lauren, or you can.
I was going to say yes, ours is, but we do not need audio codes.
Perfect. Yep, exactly what I was going to say. Yes, we support direct routing. Of course, that's how our integration works. But no, we don't need that third-party SBC. We integrate completely. Again, we can demo that to you.
Yes.
What does CRM integration look like?
Oh, good one. Absolutely good one. So we have a lot of CRMs actually that we can integrate with. We have a full list. Do reach out and I can talk you through it. And then without sounding too technical, we obviously have APIs as well, where if it's not on our list, we can look at how that kind of integration works and getting to look up like a pop lookup when you integrate your CRM and having the cool pop like an event trigger. So there are lots of options with Switchvox. Yes, it is a kind of plug and play, a lot more, what's the word for it? Not locked in, but it's kind of is what it is on a piece of tin, but we can still open it up to CRMs to work with the Switchvox. If you've got anything particular, guys, just reach out to me. I will run through our list. If it's not on there, we can obviously talk and see how we can get it integrated.
I think there's two questions. Two questions left. Do we have a multi-cell decked option for warehouses?
No. I'm correct in saying that. I have to say decked is not my.
Yeah. So no. We only have single cell deck.
It is a single cell, but
But you know, we've got deployments out there that work with plenty of other. Yes, it's
Yeah.
a bit of a. It doesn't. We don't have that in our portfolio, but we're going to be honest, right? Because that's what we do here at Sangoma. We've definitely done other deployments, Lauren, with other
Yes.
multi-cell decked
Absolutely.
providers.
Yeah.
So yes, we can help you with that, and we can for sure make that work. And
Absolutely.
just the last
Or use the
question.
mobile client.
Yeah, exactly. The very last question, which is a very simple one. Will the content of the seminar be available? Will the content of the seminar be available for sharing later?
Yes. Absolutely. Always. Yeah.
Yep,
We will
we'll
have a
share both the
recording and we'll
recording.
share
Yep,
it.
exactly. And I think that's. There's a couple of other questions which will, as I said at the beginning, get back to you guys individually with a full technical answer. But thank you, everyone. It's great to see so many people on this webinar. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and I will leave the last word to Lauren.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone, for attending and joining us today. Like I said, any questions, reach out to us at globalsales@sangoma.com, or anyone who knows me, then reach out to me directly. As we said, we are happy to help, consult, demo, evaluate, to get Switchvox out to your partners or discuss any of their telephony solutions. We're here to help. So do contact us. We'd like to hear from you. Thank you very much, everyone.